changers, we never lose. Entrepreneurship, motivation, profit makers, we're game changers. More team moves. I couldn't be the business. More team moves. Become a business maverick. More team moves. You can invest in the business. More team moves. Did you know you're the business? More millionaires know the business. We are the future millionaires with more team moves. We are the game changers. We never lose. Entrepreneurship, motivation, profit makers. We're game changers. More team moves. I couldn't be the business. More team moves. Become a business maverick. More team moves. You can invest in the business. More team moves. Did you know you're the business? More millionaires know the business. We are the future millionaires with more team moves. We are the game changers. We never lose. Entrepreneurship, motivation, profit makers. We're game changers. More team moves. I couldn't be the business. More team moves. Become a business maverick. More team moves. You can invest in the business. More team moves. Did you know you're the business? More millionaires know the business. We are the future millionaires with more team moves. We are the game changers. We never lose. Entrepreneurship, motivation, profit makers. We're game changers. More team moves. I couldn't be the business. More team moves. Become a business maverick. More team moves. You can invest in the business. More team moves. Did you know you're the business? More millionaires know the business. We are the future millionaires with more team moves. We are the game changers. We never lose. Entrepreneurship, motivation, profit makers. We're game changers. More team moves. I couldn't be the business. More team moves. Become a business maverick. More team moves. You can invest in the business. More team moves. Did you know you're the business? More millionaires know the business. We are the future millionaires with more team moves. We are the game changers. We never lose. Entrepreneurship, motivation, profit makers. We're game changers. More team moves. I couldn't be the business. More team moves. Become a business maverick. More team moves. You can invest in the business. More team moves. Did you know you're the business? More millionaires know the business. We are the future millionaires with more team moves. We are the game changers. We never lose. Entrepreneurship, motivation, profit makers. We're game changers. More the future millionaires with multi moves. We are the game changers. We never lose. Entrepreneurship, motivation, profit makers. We're game changers. Multi moves. You can be the business. Multi moves. Become a business maverick. Multi moves. You can invest in the business. Multi moves. And you know do the business. Multi-millionaires know the business. We are the future millionaires with multi moves. We are the game changers. We never lose. Entrepreneurship, motivation, profit makers. We're game changers. Multi moves. You can be the business. Multi moves. Become a business maverick. Multi moves. You can invest in the business. Multi moves. And you know do the business. Multi-millionaires know the business. We are the future millionaires with multi moves. We are the game changers. We never lose. Entrepreneurship, motivation, profit makers. We're game changers. Multi moves. You can be the business. Multi moves. Become a business maverick. Multi moves. You can invest in the business. Multi moves. And you know do the business. Multi-millionaires know the business. We are the future millionaires with multi moves. We are the game changers. We never lose. Entrepreneurship, motivation, profit makers. We're game changers. Multi moves. You can be the business. Multi moves. Become a business maverick. Multi moves. You can invest in the business. Multi moves. And you know do the business. Multi-millionaires know the business. We are the future millionaires with multi moves. We are the game changers. We never lose. Entrepreneurship, motivation, profit makers. We're game changers. Multi moves. You can be the business. Multi moves. Become a business maverick. Multi moves. You can invest in the business. Multi moves. And you know do the business. Multi-millionaires know the business. We are the future millionaires with multi moves. We are the game changers. We never lose. Entrepreneurship, motivation, profit makers. We're game changers. Multi moves. You can be the business. Multi moves. Become a business maverick. Multi moves. You can invest in the business. Multi moves. And you know do the business. Multi-millionaires know the business.
You guys are well. A wonderful month it's been. I hope you guys have had a good month. It's been a very interesting month. But and by the way, this is the 6th webinar that we're having. So thank you very much, and once again a great welcome and a warm welcome to all my brothers and sisters out there. and the people that have given me so much support over the last 6 months, or I think it's about 7 months. Guys, just to explain to you quickly how it works, the webinar is obviously for free. The uploads that I do every day is just my perspective on things and giving you an insight into my little brain as to how I could possibly help you out there. And it's to identify new entrepreneurs, old, young, whatever, that have got amazing ideas and want to turn it into something powerful and something meaningful and monetize it. But more importantly, later on in this webinar, I'll be giving away 25 vouchers for 2,000 Rand each, cash vouchers to the winners. That's just because I love you lots, and that's the only reason. I don't want to make excuses. But I want to move on, and we have about an hour today, and today we have a very special guest later on that's joining us. Fantastic man. I had a few minutes of discussion over dinner with him. We almost got into a fight about the word inflation, but we'll get onto that a bit later. He's sitting here looking at me and smiling, and it's going to be a great opportunity. And I brought him online because I want you guys to understand what's going on in the economy. I want you to have a basic understanding as to actually what's happening and what's making us a bit lethargic in the economy and what could save us and what you need to do to play your role and how, and maybe you could give us a couple of tips as to how we could improve our own economies at home. Because economy starts off in the home environment and is a study about people, I'm told, and I was lectured for about 45 minutes that the economy is about the study of people. But anyway, I want to get on to more important things. We're going to talk with him about investments. We're going to talk to him about exposures and why our currency is where it is and all of that good stuff. And I'll invite a couple of guys to call in so that you could ask you a question and so we could have this great interaction. So I just want to go back and quickly talk about a few things. I want to talk about the previous winners. The one that's still standing out in the back of my mind, which is great. I'm not following my order. Sorry, guys. So new winner talking. Okay. Previous winner update. I forgot about the new winner. I'm coming to the new winner right now. And there's a good reason why I skipped that one, because the new winner is part of our team tonight. I got to tell you about this girl. She's amazing. Her name is Shannon. And I didn't want to be the type of person to exclude people in my organization because I'm finding good talent in them too. As you just heard, that amazing jingle about Moti Moves and future billionaires and all of that when it started, that was one of the previous winners. And his name is Sam. You'll remember him. He created that jingle, and he's going to become a talented guy that's going to make lots of money for himself, and he's sponsored by me. So I'm so proud of him. Thank you, Sam, again, for the jingle. It was fantastic. But on to a new winner right now before I get back onto talking about previous guys. And it's Shannon. Shannon, would you come up here? Can you get Shannon in the picture? Makeup looks good, Shannon. I didn't get time to do mine. Forgive me, guys. All right. So Shannon is an entrepreneur that was hiding, and an entrepreneur that we knew was there, and we supported the entrepreneur, but because she was one of the team, we thought it was, I think the word they use, it mustn't be nepotistic or nepotism.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Nepotism, yeah.
Nepotism. And then her idea was so amazing that when we met with the attorneys and we were doing the, what do you call it, Shannon?
The patent and
the
trademark.
patent and trademark. I'm just checking if she knows everything. The patent and trademark, he got so excited, the attorney, that he said, this is amazing, I haven't seen this before, and it's going to be cool. So I'm going to talk to you about her product, but I can't give a whole details of her product, simply because if I give it to you, then you'll be doing it at home and not featuring and finding your great idea so that you can become really wealthy and successful. So I'm going to ask her a couple of questions, and I'm going to talk to you first and give you a bit of background. So Shannon, tell us how you developed this product. Tell us what this product is first so the viewers can understand. Can you see Shannon? Is she in the frame? Everything cool? Right.
I presume I am. Hi, everybody. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Shannon. And for those of you who do, I'm the Shannon that Zunaid normally cucks on during the webinars.
That's a bad word. Yeah.
So basically, we created a sleeping aid for children. How I came about it is...
It's not medication, right?
No.
Let's just be sure.
It's not medication.
By the way, to mothers out there, it's not Panado, okay? And don't do that.
No.
It's bad, give the child Panado and then go out to movies, right? So we know it's not Panado.
Not Panado. It is a wearable item.
Yeah.
So how I came about it is I have a 2.5-year-old, and for the first 2 years of Jackson's life, he literally did not sleep. No matter what we did. We took him to doctors, we took him to all the different peds. We even had x-rays done on his brain to see if there was a reason for him not sleeping. They checked his adenoids, everything perfect. However, if I would get into the bed with him at night and hold him, he'd immediately go to sleep and he'd sleep
You're
through.
supposed to be sleeping in his cot, though, right? But anyway.
No, he's got an extra king-size cot.
Okay.
Not
great.
even joking. It's amazing.
Remember, I have a 6-month-old kid, so I know if you're lying.
So the reason why we got this huge cot was because it just worked out. Because if we were sleeping in his bed all the time, we needed to be comfortable too.
You just said we now. Don't sleep with the child. Okay, Shannon.
So
tell us more.
then, I had 2 years of sleeping in the bed with my baby. I had a very upset husband who said it wasn't healthy for our relationship, but it was also creating really bad dependencies. So come December last year, we were literally tired, grumpy, miserable, and there had to be something that we could do. And when you're spending a lot of hours awake at night, you actually think of some pretty cool ideas. So
Yeah.
during those sleepless nights, I came up with this idea. The next morning I woke up, I got hold of a supplier. I explained everything to them of what I was looking for. Took them a couple of days to make it, and then we tried it the first night. And amazingly, Jackson slept through, literally for the first time in 2 years. We thought it had to be a fluke, Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
Following night, same thing. So since then, Jackson has been sleeping through, which is amazing for us. I still sneak into his bed sometimes, though. And then, obviously, with the whole Moti Moves now, it's been incredible. We've done a lot of stuff, and we've been doing a lot of research. And in the research, we've been obviously giving some trial units to moms to try on their kids.
Oh, yeah.
And so far, we have a 100% success rate.
So what she's saying, guys, is that the husbands are all happy at home.
Yes.
They're sleeping with the wives again. I'm not sure if that's true, but let's just assume that Shannon is right now. But what it is, I can't tell you exactly what it is because they're going through a patent process and we've started the funding. I think we've committed how many million? 5 million towards it. It's an amazing device because, and I can't tell you exactly what it is, but it's a garment, okay? And it gives the child comfort and it makes the child believe that it's in the mother's arms. Let me put it that way. Would that be a correct summary?
Yeah, 100%.
So it's a fantastic idea. I love the idea when I just seen it. It was just amazing. I have a 6-month-old child, but my wife has like 4 nannies looking after the child as well.
Most of us don't have that.
But she doesn't have the 4 nannies, so she went for the cheaper option, and the cheaper option was her product, and it lasts a long time. It's not going to be really expensive, and it's going to come out in a great quality of materials, choice of your own colors, etc., and there could be products that come after that. So this is an example of an entrepreneur that started out in the marketing industry. Am I right in
Yeah.
saying?
Communications.
And she works with her mother, and she is having a family business. But she's in a position where she earns good money. I think I don't want to say
Could
how
do
much.
better.
She
We
always
always
could do better. But she's going on this amazing road of developing her own idea, and it started out with a problem. Like I told you guys, sometimes the entrepreneur could be the person trapped inside of you. It could be coming out of a bad situation. Normally, these things come out of bad situations because the bad situations create a requirement for you to find a fix, whatever that is. It could be something with a car, something with your household things, etc. And this is just one other idea where we have invested 5 million rand or committed to invest 5 million rand into this particular venture. And I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to generate a lot of money. We're not far. How far are we away from this thing?
So obviously, once we get our patent done, then we have to decide on what our sales distribution will be.
Yeah.
And then I think that's the fun part is deciding how we're actually going to do it and how we're going to go to market. Are we going to go
Sure.
big? Are we going to go small?
We
Scale.
always go big, but fine. Sunit sounds fantastic. She's a part of our team. I'm hoping that you guys will support it when we tell you eventually what it is. And I know all mothers out there, and I know fathers now won't need it because they want their mothers back in the bed. So here you have another Moti Moves initiative by Shannon. And Shannon, wish you the best.
Thanks.
And I'm
Anand.
sure it's going to go well. And I know I'm going to receive one for my wife to use tonight. So guys, I'm not going to show you what it is, but it's going to be great. My wife's going to enjoy it, and the 4 or 5 or 6 people that are helping her with little Sia is going to love it because they can then sleep on duty. Thank you very much, Sia.
Thanks, Sinead.
Once again, another fantastic individual finding her way as an entrepreneur, getting us in a position to put more money out there and create better opportunities for young people. By the way, just to let you know, I want to talk now quickly about the previous winners. I don't know if you have stuff that you want to play, guys, but maybe we should play that Motti Moves thing one more time. Listen to it and see what Sam's come up with. It's very cool. And then please give feedback to the public and our brothers and sisters out there about all the previous guys and what they're doing. Are they performing? How's the investments going? So you know that this is a real thing. It's a real investment. It's a real mentorship program with real money. Okay, we give you 5 minutes to do that, yeah?
Cool.
Cool.
Okay.
Cut me off.
We are the future millionaires with Motti Moves. We are the game changers. We never lose. Entrepreneurship, motivation, profit makers. We're game changers. Motti Moves. I couldn't be the business. Motti Moves. Become a business maverick. Motti Moves. You can invest in the business. Motti Moves. Did you know do the business? Motti-millionaires.
Please send me your comments about what you think about the singer. It was done only in 2 hours, so there's more stuff to follow. He's going to make a beautiful song for December, and we're going to air the song out and try and market it and get him some publicity around that. So are we going to talk about this issue relating to the previous winners? Should we talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Or do you have these uploads that the people want to have a look at?
No. So we're going to play videos.
We're going to play some videos, guys. Please, just not going to be a long time. It'll be a minute or so each. Just take note of what's going on so you know that we are operating in the right direction. And then we're going to have this great interview with Dawie Ruert, economist. Okay,
Greetings, everyone. I am Dr. Larry van Vieren. I'm a biological scientist.
Greetings, everyone.
It has been great
I am
working
Dr.
with
Larry
the
van Vieren.
Motti
I'm
Moves.
a
They have been
biological
supportive
scientist.
all the way.
It has been
Whatever I
great
needed to
working
go
with
forward,
the
they've
Motti
always
Moves.
been
They
there.
have been
Since
supportive
the
all the
inception
way.
of this
Whatever I needed
Motti
to go
Moves
forward,
program,
they've always been
many
there.
aspiring
Since the
entrepreneurs
inception
will
of
definitely
this
benefit
Motti Moves
from this
program.
Recently
Many
been
aspiring entrepreneurs will definitely
awarded
benefit
from this.
recently been
Grants
awarded
from the Motti Moves in order to
grants
develop
from the
my
Motti
medical
Moves,
technology.
in order
So,
to develop my medical
we-
technology.
The problem was finding
So,
a lab to develop the appropriate antibodies for this particular application.
develop the
And we have recently found a lab in Germany which goes by the name of BioRad.
and we have
We
recently
have been
found
having
a lab in
ongoing
Germany
discussions
which goes by
with
the name
them.
of BioRad.
The
have
strategy
been
they
having
will
ongoing
use
discussions
to
with them.
develop these antibodies for us is quite innovative and unique. I've never heard of this platform before. It's known as the UCAL platform, or Human Combinatorial Antibody Libraries.
Before it's known as the
As
UCAL
I was
platform.
always only familiar with the hybridoma technology, where animals are used to produce antibodies. But everything seems promising, and we're looking forward to working with them so that we can have this test developed as soon as possible and commercialized by sometime next year.
Hi guys, my name is Sharon Gardner and I'm the winner of the August Motti Moves competition with Hook. It was a bracelet that's been developed for the purpose of protecting children as an early warning system. We're very, very excited because we've spent the better part of the last month coming together with a team of engineers and people working on our apps and things like that. We are looking at a concept bracelet coming out within the next 2 to 3 months, and we are looking hopefully to launch the entire project onto market within the next 7 to 12 months. So very, very exciting time. There's been a lot gone into it, a lot of research put into it, but it's been absolutely amazing. We've had incredible support from the team at Motti Moves, and as always, just very, very proud to be a part of it.
Xavier Bapu. I was the Motti Moves micro business winner for August 2023. Since then, we, together with Sinead Motti, we've started Highland Visas and started assisting our first few clients, as well as corporate clients. We've done visas for China, visas for UK, and visas for India so far, but we are still growing. Since setting up at WeWork, it's been an amazing experience with the Morty Moves team. And I've gotten a lot of assistance in the marketing and the financial side of the business. So managing the finances, getting the right pricing in gear, the right pricing and the right strategy to launch the business and market it accordingly. Yeah. Xavier Bapu. I was the Morty Moves micro business winner for August 2023.
Hi everyone, I'm Samuel. Thank you so much for having me back here at the Morty Moves. I'm proud to announce that I am the September winner, last month winner. Thank you so much to you guys for giving me that opportunity again. Just a few things that I wanted to update you on. One of them is that the MBM Studios is now up and running. We managed to get all the equipment that we needed in studio. There was also the other project that I was working on, which was the jingle. I'm also proud to announce that the jingle is ready, and the team will be hearing a bit of that jingle whenever they're ready to, before the next webinar that's taking place this week. Morty Moves jingle done. More exciting news from me to you is I entered a competition called the iPop Auditions. It is a audition that is held by an international agency. I was lucky enough to make it through out of 4,000 people. I'm one of the 11. So chances of me having to perform in front of an audience in Los Angeles is about 90% out of 100. So thank you again for that. Until next time, bye.
Okay, guys, we're live. We're back. It's Junaid again. Remember me. This is Davi, and it's not Davi the Kaboter. It's Davi Ruert, economist, 35, 40 years worth of experience. Davi is an amazing guy. He's had a huge amount of experience. Davi, tell us what's been the highlight of your career and where have you come from in this last 35 years? Quickly.
Thank you very much for the invite.
Pleasure.
It's very wonderful being here.
Fantastic.
Yeah, well, okay, I've worked everywhere. I started my career as an economist at the South African Reserve Bank.
Oh.
20 years ago, we started a business called the Fishing Group, and that's where I worked for the last 20 years. I was CEO myself. We started the business 20 years ago, and basically that's what I'm doing. I'm still trying to figure out how the economy works.
Oh.
I haven't figured that out after 35 years, but I can tell you every day there's something new that I learn about the economy. The economy is the most amazing subject there is.
Well, the reason I brought Davi, guys, to come and meet you guys is because I think that and I call myself a normal person, I hope that's right, I'm using the right words. I want to make the economy and let him explain to you, and I'm going to probe him and ask him a couple of questions that I know you guys have in the back of your mind about the economy so you can understand it. It's not a boring discussion, it's about us as people on the ground and how the economy affects us and how things happen. And the first question I have for you is explain to us how come it is that everything is more expensive in South Africa at the moment compared to last year.
There's an ugly word, it's called inflation.
Okay.
And the definition for inflation, there are two definitions for inflation, so I don't want to get too technical.
Please
let's,
don't.
Let's do some
Keep it
basics.
simple. Yeah.
There are two, but try to understand the following is that inflation means things are getting more expensive.
Of course.
We understand that.
Yep.
But there's another definition for inflation, and that is money loses its value.
Yes.
And that's a more important definition.
But
Think about it a little bit differently. Money loses its value. And there's always a relationship between the amount of stuff in the economy and the amount of money in the economy.
I hear you.
And if the amount of money keeps on going up, but the amount of stuff in the economy is not going up, then money loses its value.
I hear you. But Davi, I want to get into like very simple stuff. I cannot understand, and some of the brothers and sisters out there want to understand, why is it that our economy is moving backwards? What I feel like we're moving backwards.
Can I just make something really important about money?
Sure. Yeah.
Money is not wealth.
Okay.
Money is not wealth.
Okay.
It's what you can buy with money that matters. And there are some people and some economies in the world, they've got a lot of money. They've got gazillion whatever currencies they have.
Yes.
But that money can't buy anything
Yeah.
because the money is worthless. So money must have a value. Why is it that as South African, and we're not doing well in South Africa, I can tell you that.
Yes.
And I can give you all sort of numbers. Unemployment is high, poverty is high.
No,
People are going to bed hungry, literally.
That's the
And
part
that is
that
horrible.
worries us.
That is
Yes.
horrible. Why is that happening? And the main thing is because we're not producing and manufacturing more things in the economy. In other words, the economy is not growing fast enough.
So
And the economy is not something fancy.
Yeah.
It's you and I
Sure.
doing some stuff in the economy. And that's not happening enough.
So when I was talking, thanks, Davi. When I was talking to Davi earlier on, he said to me that we the cause of what happens in the economy. We are the players that decide what happens. So explain to us, out there, the man in the street, my brothers and sisters out there, what are they doing right or what are they doing wrong for our economy to be where it is?
What is the economy about? When you talk about the economy, people's going to say it's about high finance and graphs and formulas and stuff and economists that speak a language that nobody understands.
Yeah.
That is not what economics is about. Economics is about people, and it's always about people. And you and I, we've got certain things that we want.
Sure.
We want to have a safe environment.
Yes.
We want to have a steady job. We want to have enough food to eat. We want to have normal. And most of us, all of you guys, want exactly the same.
Sure.
And can we achieve that? Can we do that? And the answer is yes, we can do that. But there are some obstacles in South Africa making it difficult for us to achieve these kind of things.
Sure.
And I'm afraid to say many of those obstacles are own goals.
Yeah.
Many of these obstacles are placed in a way of us to achieve these things that we want, and it's placed in a way of us trying to achieve these things by government. And government is doing a lot of this. It's not only government, we are also making a lot of mistakes. We sometimes want to live off the state. For example, many of us, we say, listen, I want the state to look after this, I want the state to do this. But in the meantime, the state must be financed by somebody else, the taxpayer somewhere. So the thing is that there are few simple rules that we have to follow.
Yeah.
And if we follow these simple rules, we will have a successful economy. And unfortunately, we are not following most of the time these simple rules.
Right.
And let me share those rules with you.
Yeah. But before you get to the rules, I just want to stop a second.
Sure.
While I was chatting to Davi, he made me understand something very important, that the macroeconomics of the country play a vitally important point where we become attractive or unattractive for people to invest in or money to flow into our country. So would you just give us a few examples of what in the macroeconomics doesn't make us as South Africa attractive for people to put money in?
We economists try to measure stuff. We
Yeah.
even measure things like happiness. We
Yes.
measure everything. It's not only
Yeah.
rands and cents and
Sure.
interest rates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we are not attractive in South Africa. And how do we know that? Because there are measurements. We can measure it. We call it confidence indices. So you go to people and say, listen, are you happy with government? Do you feel safe in the country? Do you have a job? And the economists put all of that together and they create an index, and they call that then confidence index as an example. So confidence is low. Why is that so? In many instances, confidence in South Africa is because the economy is not growing, because the environment is a dangerous environment, because the pavements are breaking, because we don't have electricity, because the trains are not running on time, and because they're killing us in our houses. Those are the reasons why people are unhappy in the country.
Guys-
If they feel unhappy, they don't invest.
Sure. I think you're getting the idea here, guys, and please, very important, is that when our country becomes attractive for other people to invest and grow our economy, our lives get better. There's more performance in the economy. There's more cash flow that comes in. So why I brought Davi on here? Because there is an element where when you talk about the economy, you talk about also the economy in your home. Look at your home as an economy. And I brought Davi here to give you a couple of ideas as to how to stick to, make some rules in your home so that you have a principle around how you want your home to run, how your finances to run. And based on that, you can then create some rules around how you're going to buy the next house, the next property, how you're going to save some money, what you're going to be doing. That economy appreciation from a macro perspective starts off in your home, starts off with your salary, your husband's salary, your family living in the home, and so on. What are the things that my brothers and sisters can take home tonight and think about doing to improve their own homes and households, and more particularly around how do they deal with their escalating mortgage and payments and their car payments. What do you suggest about how they can deal with that?
Okay, just a few things. I think let's start off with simple, really important things. And this is actually what the economy is built upon, and that is you have to respect other people. And I think the biggest sin out there is theft. Because if you steal somebody's stuff, it's called theft. If you steal somebody's life, it's called murder. But it's still theft. If you steal somebody's freedom, you are actually committing a theft. You are stealing a freedom from an individual.
Never looked at
So
that.
it is. So property rights, the very broad definition of property rights, that's what's important.
Okay.
If I have something and it's mine, it is mine.
Sure.
And you have no right to take it, and I will not take your stuff either. But there's a very important economic reason why that is important, because there's a saying, there is no free lunch, but there is one free lunch. And the
Mother's
free,
house, yeah?
and the free, no, apart from your mother's. But there's, the free lunch in the economy is that, and that is free exchange. If I have something and I exchange it freely between the two of us, I win and you win.
Sure.
But I cannot do this exchange
Wherever.
if I don't own the property.
Okay, or the item.
The item. So that's why private property rights are so important, because it allows me to create a free lunch, because it allows me to exchange something with you.
I hear
And that's
you.
the key.
But
You respect people and you allow for free exchange, and private property rights are, wow, you've got economic growth.
Okay. That sounds very simple, but
It
I
is.
want to sort of like go down to a basic question. A guy's got a mortgage out there, he's paying it, and I don't want to know statistics, Davy. I want to know, how does he prevent himself from going into a situation where he can see his cash flow is negative? He can see that in a foreseeable month he's going to be in
This
breach.
is what you do. This is what you do. You call the family together. Let's sit around the table, all of you, and you tell me what you want to do. What your biggest dream? I want a car. I want to go on holiday. I want to do this and what. Put all your dreams, the family, the whole family.
Yes.
Put it all on the table.
Okay.
And then you all have, and let's talk about our dreams. These are our dreams. And once we've spoken about our dreams, we all understand what our dreams are. And they say, okay, so what can we do to make these dreams come true?
Yes.
And you put the dreams in, this is your dreams and my dreams, and what do we have available to make these dreams come true?
That's all well and good,
Yeah,
but let's say I don't have any money. I got just enough cash, because that's where most South Africans are. Some are sleeping hungry today, and I feel for them. But some of my brothers and sisters have got a car payment and a mortgage payment out there. Hear me out. And they know that by January, they're not going to be able to service it.
Yeah.
But they have equity in their homes and the equity in the vehicle. What do you suggest they do with that?
Okay, you do exactly what I've just said. And when we've got all these dreams together, then you have to put a plan on the table. You have
Okay.
to start with a dream. You put a plan on the table, then that includes your cash flow. So this is my income. These are my expenses. And you can see clearly things are not working out there.
Yes.
I'm gonna get into trouble here.
Yeah.
See what you can do to work it out, and share this with your family. And if you see things can't work out, please don't wait for the bank to call you. Go and see the bank before they call you.
Now listen, this is why I brought Davy here. We were debating this point. We're coming to a time in South Africa when we're not there yet, from what Davy tells us. But if you're experiencing trouble around your mortgage payments or your car payments or any payments, first step, consolidate, speak to the people responsible in your home. Let them understand the difficulty. You cannot not tell them what the problem is, because then you're actually not giving the other person the respect of knowing what the outcome possibly could be, number one. Number two, make sure you approach the financial institution long before you're going to have this problem, right?
Yeah.
And explain to them your cash flow so that you can restructure your affairs. You may have a mortgage of 200,000 on a 2 million rand home. There's no way you want to lose that house. And as sure as hell, you don't want to sell that house for R1 million.
And the banks don't want your house.
The banks just want to make money financing you.
Yeah.
And they've been good for 18 years, but this last 2 years seems like it's tripping you out. You should go and see them in advance. If you think you're going to have a cash crunch, guys, get out there. Please go see them. If you think your cars are going to be having difficulty with installments, go and recapitalize on installments. Go and meet them. Go and find a solution.
And put stuff on paper. This is my stuff on paper. Make a plan on a
Yes.
piece of paper.
So what he's saying is, do your income and expense, as we discussed. Go to the bank or your financial institute, sit down with them, tell them, listen, it looks like this. I have this problem, and I need to sort it out. And why this is so important, we're getting towards the end of the year. And what happens ultimately is you got that expense lurking. It's called a Christmas expense. I'm going to save up all my money. I'm going to go on holiday. I'm going to buy a new car. I'm going to spend all my cash. Then you arrive after New Year's and you go like, oh,
There's something important here. There's
Yeah.
something. It's not only about when you know when you get into trouble.
Yeah.
You also, of course, you live.
planning to get into trouble.
No, you have to live life. We want
Yeah.
we want to enjoy life.
Of course we wanna enjoy.
want to have a car. We want to go on holiday. But we need, you know what, so many times people go on holiday and you go on holiday and there's a little monkey sitting in your shoulder here.
Yeah.
And whenever you swipe that card, it pulls your ear. It pulls your ear. And you know why?
Some big ears here, man.
Because you haven't planned for your holiday. You plan for your holiday, you save for your holiday, and you know you're going to go on holiday, and you know you're going to leave the monkey behind.
Yes.
And you're going to enjoy your holiday. Plan it and put it on paper.
So what this man is saying, we're not going to Durban because a lot of monkeys at the beach. But the point is, if you're going, the monkeys are all those ones we have at Zimbabwe. They're all over, jumping all over the trees, trying to catch my children. So he doesn't want monkeys pulling on the ears. What he's talking about is he doesn't want you to have a begrudged purchase. So plan that purchase in a way that says, okay, I'm going on holiday in December. This is my transport. This is whatever.
Yes.
And I'm not going to go over this, but this is my limit. And then you have a kind of like a shadow limit where you say, I'll put another 5 grand into it or whatever, 10 grand, whatever it is. But please, guys, I'm appealing to you, and I got Davi here to tell you as an independent, it's better to go to the institutions before the trouble starts.
And remember, if you go and you know it's going to be tough, now go, put your head down, go through the next 2 or 3 months, and it's going to be tough. But once you're through there, or once you're ahead,
Yes.
stay ahead, and then it's so much easier to stay ahead.
I can't agree more with you, and I'm more worried about those people that have now got those fees. And you know, I know what it's like, Dov. You know what happens? It's coming towards the end of the year. The child's saying, "Mommy, Daddy, are we going to the beach?" And you can't say to the child, "No." Then there's Christmas and Christmas presents. Then there's going out and having a nice time because you need to relax. Then there's buying the parents and the in-laws, don't worry, put them last on the list or for the Christmas parents. But the bottom line is then you get to the holiday expense, the entertainment, someone can get sick, that whole element, and then comes an important thing, the school fees.
The school fees.
The school fees, that I don't know why it's such a begrudged thing, you know.
But no, but put things in sequence of importance. You know, you've got a list, it's called a
Prioritize.
budget, a priority. So it's very important to pay for this and that and so on. And going and having a nice hamburger somewhere, that's probably not the most important thing to do.
Of course, yeah.
Now and again, do it. Of course, you have to spoil yourselves
course.
sometimes. But make a plan and make sure you put some money aside for a rainy day as well.
Yeah.
Because the car's going to break one day.
Sure. The school fees thing still worries me because, you know, some of the private schools are costing a lot of money.
Yes, that's
and,
expensive.
and parents are working very hard out there. I know you guys are working very hard out there. And this is for you because you should be trying to save a little bit every single month during the year while you're still paying the bloody school fees. But come the January, then you got the uniforms, you got all the school fees, you got the,
And
the
then a credit-
stationery.
The credit card bill around.
Yes, and that's the most expensive way to finance something is the credit card bill. But it's the only way to get access to cash, isn't it? I mean, how else does somebody pay for those things? Do they take another loan at a bank? How else, if they just don't have the
Don't
money?
get there in the first place.
Okay, good
That's
point.
the thing. Don't get there in the first place. If you have a proper plan, you stick with your plan, you're not going to get there in the first
I
place.
know, but now you're talking to a single mother. She's not getting a maintenance. She's not getting enough money to pay all the bills. She's got all this coming her way. She's got to look after the kids, pay the school fees, still go on holiday, all of that. What are you saying?
What I tell her, of course it's difficult out there.
Find a rich
but that's
man.
a reality. Find a rich man. But something else, if you have a job, it doesn't matter how difficult it is, but if you really want a good job, the best way of getting a good job is to get a job.
Yeah.
Get a job first. And it doesn't matter what kind of job. If you're
that brings
unemployed,
me
you
to-
must
but
find a
let's talk
job.
about being an entrepreneur now. Now you got this burning desire in you. You got this thing where you know it can work. You're going to be able to put some effort into it, but you don't have the cash flow. So we come in, we try and help you, and we support you, and so on. But when do you take that choice of saying, I don't want this good job anymore. I want to follow my dream and my great idea. When do you make that decision?
Well, as an entrepreneur, that's one of the requirements if you want to be an entrepreneur. You need to be prepared to take a bit of a risk. Being an
Yeah.
entrepreneur is a risky business.
Risky, but-
And that's why the most important, from an economic point of view, everybody is important in our country. But from an economic point of view, the people that are so important are the entrepreneurs.
Of course,
Because the entrepreneurs
Their
are wealth
jobs.
creators.
Yes.
They are taxpayers. They are job creators. They are the people that create the wealth in the economy. We should respect our entrepreneurs. We should create an environment where we can have more entrepreneurs, far more entrepreneurs than what we have. In fact, what I would do, I would make sure that it becomes a subject at school. And we should have respect for our entrepreneurs. Quite often, the politicians tell us, listen, he's a rich guy. He must have, he's
Done
a crook
something
somewhere, must have done something wrong. No, he's a wealthy person. A wealthy person doesn't become wealthy because he steals from other people.
Yes.
A wealthy person becomes wealthy because he adds to society.
Yeah.
And by becoming wealthy, he create a wealthy society.
Guys, you hear what he's saying. Our job as entrepreneurs is to create and improve this economy and give our economy a robust sense of expansion from the inner South Africa, other than waiting for people to put capital back into our country.
Let me know one thing that politicians always tell us. We've got a poverty problem in South Africa. We don't have a poverty problem. We don't have enough rich people.
Yes.
That's the problem. We
But they're
want
all running
more
away
rich
now.
people.
They're all running away now.
Yeah, many of them running away because it's not a nice place to be quite often.
But look, the bottom line is, and thank you so much, brother, the issue for me is to, once again, I brought this man on board because I want you to understand your job as entrepreneurs, as he pointed out very clearly, is so much more important than you think.
Yeah.
When you're thinking about failing, forget about it. Just try and get your positive thoughts together.
Yep.
Try and focus more carefully so we can create a better economy being entrepreneurs. And it just takes 1 out of maybe 100, 1 out of 1,000, 1 out of 10,000 entrepreneurs to make a massive difference out there. I don't want you to give up on your dreams. I want you to go looking for capital. So coming to that point, where do my entrepreneurs find capital other than this 30 million fund that I put together?
You don't always need capital to become an entrepreneur.
Agreed, but a lot of the times there is a bit of capital required. Why is it that, I'll give you an example. In Botswana, I don't know if you guys know, there is a minister of entrepreneurship, okay? And that's so amazing. Wouldn't that be amazing, guys, if we had a minister of entrepreneurship like we have for electricity now, because we know that's a problem. But if we had this minister who had a certain amount of governmental funds to
I
support...
don't agree with you.
Okay, tell me.
No, I don't agree
Okay,
with
fine.
you. What we need to do, we do the simple things like I've said. Create a safe environment,
Yes.
protect people, make sure their stuff is not stolen, make sure it's a good environment where people want to be,
invest and be.
to be an attractive place. And we've got so much talent out there. We've got people with the most amazing talent. And all you need, don't help them, just give them a nice open playing field and they will do all of this by themselves. We don't need the Minister of Entrepreneurs. We don't even need a Minister of Electricity. In fact, most of the ministers what we have, we don't need. We have far too many ministers.
We're not getting
That's the
political.
problem. That's not political, it's economics. Remember, I'm
Oh,
an
yeah.
economist. They're costing us money. They cost our taxpayers a lot of money. We need far fewer ministers, but please not more ministers,
Okay.
because they've got deputy ministers.
So how do entrepreneurs get a loan at a bank and they have a great idea and they need a bit of capital? What would be your suggestion on that?
Well, I can tell you there are many business people out there that are very happy and will be very happy to fund a lot of ventures. So you come with a good idea, but you can't just go to a businessman and say, give me money, I've got an idea. That's not going to work. Put it on paper, put it on a piece of paper, think it through. So listen, I've read about this, I understand this, I've got a good idea, I thought it through, it is going to work, this is my cash flow, this is the profit I'm going to make. You can't just walk and say, give me money for something.
Oh, no one
Think
will.
it through, think it through. Come with a proper plan, and if you have a proper plan and a good plan, I can tell you there are many entrepreneurs, people with capital, but they will be more than happy to.
But a
to
lot of the
assist.
readers and a lot of the support that we have in the space that I'm operating in now and the youth, they don't seem to know where to go. Where are the right places to go? Would you be able to do us a favor and give us maybe 5 different places you think entrepreneurs can go to, and we'll send it out to the entrepreneurs to look at these opportunities?
You know where entrepreneurs, where they make the money from?
Yeah.
I can tell you where I started my business.
Yeah.
I started my business in my TV room.
Yes.
I can tell you where Microsoft started, in a garage. That's where it started.
Sure.
You don't need a big facility. You
No,
don't
no.
need a lot of capital. You need your family to trust you, to give you
Good
some
point.
money.
Listen, guys, I
And
love
that is
I
a very
love what he
important
said.
thing. You need a support base, and your support base usually is your family.
Guys, I love what he just said. You need your family. And your family generally have not only money sometimes, but they also have great, unique ideas that can complement where you need to go. So maybe that's the start-off point for capital. And perhaps when you need more capital, I'm going to spend a bit more time with Davi and tap his brain and get some names and things, because I see I'm struggling to squeeze some.
I can give you some
info.
names, depending what you want to do.
Great. What I want to do is I want to build this entrepreneurial book up from 30 million
Yeah.
to a bigger number. If I find the right entrepreneurs, let them show us what we're doing, and I'm trying to improve that and bring it to 100 million. I've got commitments from one other businessman who's my partner from possibly another 30 million. So I want to get the first 100 million under locks, and then I would like to get younger people to manage the small fund. Obviously, they need a little bit older guys, and I'm not saying we're old now, but we're getting on now, you know.
We're becoming more
Yeah,
attractive.
we're becoming a bit more because our estrogen levels are high. But the bottom line, I still got my hair. Davi, you still all right. So until we lose our hair, what I'm trying to do is bring guys like Davi along so we can look for the other millions that we need for our game plan. We got 30 bars. It looks like I'm securing another 30 million. Maybe Davi will help us get to 100 million. Some of the ideas, Davi, that have come is just unbelievable. I told you one idea about the blind professor.
Oh yes, you told me that.
Yes, fantastic. It looks like it's very financially viable. But I would like a lot of these monies that we generate to go back into this youth program, you know, so that we can get even younger people than 18 to think, because they are such amazing minds, these young people, that we can never think what they're thinking. It's unbelievable.
Can I tell you something that I've learned about entrepreneurship?
Please, yeah,
and
tell
that
me.
is that it is, of course, the money is important. Of course, I want to make money.
course.
But far more important, far more, is the drive and
success.
you want to see this thing grow. And you want to know it is me that stood behind this thing, and as I nurture it from nothing, from a small seed, to this amazing thing that we've put
Gee,
together
sounds like
over
my
time.
children you're talking about here, Davi.
So it is the money that's important, but it's not a quick rich thing. That's not what entrepreneurship is about.
It's a struggle.
Entrepreneurship is about building things.
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
You know, in light with that, you guys may have seen this one thing I sent out this week around growing pains. When you go to the gym and you want to get big, I did a couple of push-ups yesterday. I'm already sore. I want to be big. By December, it's not going to happen. But the bottom line is, with growth means there comes pain, and with pain comes success, I believe. But there's going to be those times that Davi mentions that's going to look bleak, that's going to look not cool, that's going to look like you can't make it, but you've got to hang in there, because those that have the tenacity to see through what they start, they generally get a good outcome at the end.
Believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself. Davi, thank you very much. It was fantastic you having on board.
Thank
And
you
I'm
so
still
much
coming
for-
back to you to find me 40 bars.
No problem.
He stays on for questions. Hey, we got Davi
Oh,
for
yes,
questions.
yeah. Oh.
Let's fire. Fire
can't
in
wait
the
for
house.
this.
Who's first on the line? Is it Leonard Mamba? Is that right? Do we have Leonard online? Or oh. Okay, so while they're getting, is it Leonard we're going to talk to first? Okay, so I never get to see these questions, and I discussed with Davi. He reckons he doesn't want to see it. He just wants to knock them out at the time. I agree as well. It's like driving a car. As the other cars come along, you decide how to maneuver yourself. Must you put earphones? Here you go, Davi. There's
Thanks.
your We'll have to use one each, Davi.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Right, are we live? Leonard? Hello? He's not here yet. Guys, just to recap there for a second, Davi was giving us an interesting thought, and it's been in my mind now around the issue of family. As Muslims, we grew up like that, and I'm sure all families out there have this great affinity to the youth and to their family as such. All of these amazing times, look at the sport, all the families got together and watched it. All these special occasions you get, your birthdays, Christmas, Eid, all of that sort of stuff. It's important for us to utilize that particular asset that we have, which is family. And you don't need to be rich or poor to have family. You just got it. You're born in it. Utilize it productively and effectively so that it can be your guidance. It can be your compass to where you need to go as young entrepreneurs to achieve your goals. Your father just giving you the nod sometimes worth more than $1 million. Your mother packing your lunch and saying, you can't afford this today, but here you go. All of that stuff's so important. Hang in there. Make sure that you got, and driving your ideas carefully. Are we ready to speak to Leonard? Leonard, put your camera on, man. Leonard, are you there? We can't even see you. Okay, Leonard, can you hear me? I can't hear
Yes, I
you.
can hear you.
Yeah,
I can
Hi,
hear
Leonard.
you.
I can
We
hear
can hear you.
Yeah.
I can hear you. How you doing, bud?
I'm okay, Mr. Zonite and Mr. Dewi. Thanks for this conversation.
No, fantastic. And your question, if I can just quickly read it out so the listeners can hear. Given the current state of our country, skyrocketing unemployment, reaching 60%, the issue of load shedding, more to contributing factors to the issue of brain drain, what, in your opinion, are the key economic policy measures that could help reverse this trend, make it more attractive for South Africans to stay and contribute to domestic markets and worth investing in? And what is the importance of retaining talent in South Africa from graduates? What a nice question.
It is. So you want to, Leonard, you want me to tell you about, those macroeconomic policy changes that we have to implement to get this economy to grow. I'm going to disappoint you because I'm not going to tell you that. What I'm going to get to something much easier, much simpler. So I did mention earlier. I mentioned earlier something about, it's important to feel well about things. It's important to feel wanted in somewhere. So what we need to do as South Africans, and we felt something about that over the weekend with the Springboks, by the way.
Yeah.
And we need confidence back in South Africa. I can tell you about the macroeconomic changes. That's not an issue. That's a long economics lecture here. But what we really need, we need to change confidence in South Africa, and we want people to feel proud of South Africa. And here are two suggestions that I have. I'm only going to mention one. Remember, confidence in the government is very low. Confidence in South Africa is very low, and we can measure that. So how can we change that? Well, the Springbok helps a lot, but here's a suggestion that I think we can do as well. Let's clean the place up. Just clean the place up. It's dirty out there. It looks bad. Let's feel proud of being South Africans, and let's start a project, and we're going to clean our streets up. That's it.
It's a good
And
startup
do
point.
that. Clean the place up. Now we feel we've achieved something. And if we feel we've achieved something, now we can do something else. What we now can do, we can start implementing the other things. We can try fixing Excom. We can try fixing Transnet. We can try to fix the post office. We can get the civil servants to become more efficient and effective. We can do the other things as well. But start with something small and start feeling proud of being a South African and contribute to that by cleaning the place up.
Look,
As
Davi,
simple
thank you.
as
That's, you're astounding me with some of the stuff you're saying because it's less fiscal and less micro and macroeconomic stuff here. Eh? Nice bow tie, by the way, Leonard. But I think I like Davi's concept of let's go back to the start. And I know this, I sometimes cook in the kitchen and so on. And I love a clean kitchen. I like a clean house. I like a clean garden. We would love to see a clean South Africa. Perceptive-wise, when you drive in the street, you walk in the garden, or you walk in the street, etc. You want to see the cleanliness, and that's what we're all about. And I do agree with you that if you could start off with smaller things like that and build confidence, like at the moment, I think we're doing pretty well with the cricket, if I'm not
That's
mistaken.
also doing quite well.
How was that win against England? I think it was. Was it England?
Yeah.
I don't want to say what I think about it. It's amazing. but Leonard, I hope
Yeah,
that
it makes a lot of sense.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
And
it makes a lot of sense. You just simplified it in a good way, and I just find it very simple than the complicated part what we have to
answers,
include policy.
And important, Leonard, now, you trust your fellow South Africans and you respect your fellow South Africans and you expect exactly the same from them as well. That's
But I think coming out of what he's saying is the entrepreneurs out there, he's given a great idea. The idea is let's start a cleanup drive. Let's speak to the president's office at the right time. Let's get young youth together. Let's put some money together. Let someone lead this objective out. Get corporate South Africa and even anyone in a position to contribute towards a cleanup of South Africa. And we go out there physically and do it because there's nothing better meeting your neighbors. Some people don't even know who their neighbors are. I know a few of them.
Good point. Know your neighbors.
Know your neighbors. But the point is, it's such a simple thing that he's come up with. I'm sure you were expecting a C plus I plus G explanation. But entrepreneurs, now you have something to bite onto. Come up with a concept of being able to clean your town. And I know in Zimbabwe there was something, and I'm sorry to move to Zimbabwe because I love Zimbabwe. And there was something called My Town, and an entrepreneur from a town contributes money to its people. So they can almost adopt its town based on where he came from or which school he went to, and go back there and start an empowerment scheme, start cleaning up the town, start supporting the town with various objectives. That's another way of giving back, where entrepreneurs who have already made some success, you can ring on them and say, listen, you come from Port Elizabeth, let's go clean the streets together there.
Let's clean
Great,
it.
let's go do it. So I like the idea. Entrepreneurs, a nice, great idea out there. Leonard, we're going to have to love you and leave you. Send me that bow tie. I'm going to wear it to New Year's. Lots of love. Cheers, mate. The next caller we have.
Thanks, man.
Cheers, Leonard. All right, the next caller we have there. Do we have
Chantel, yeah.
Chantel Souls? Oh, she's joining. Okay, we see that. So, guys, that was amazing. It's not the answer I was expecting from a high performance, high powered finance man. I was expecting some numbers, I was expecting some crazy stuff, but it's just basic, and it's amazing that your mind's working this way. To go back to basics, I think.
It is
Going
what it
back to
is.
basics, you know. For us to gain confidence back in South African, I was amazed to see, and I've seen so many people united in the Springbok stuff. You know, it just
Isn't that a
showed
good
me-
example?
People seen Pascala, Creed. We were just one people. It was just
Yeah,
amazing.
that's-
So, and as far as business is concerned, we should be able to do the same.
Yeah, of course you can.
Chantel, how you doing? I like the bow tie, but I'm not wearing that stuff that you got on today myself. I'm just warning you. Don't send me that. Chantel Sauls, here's her question. How you doing, my dear?
I'm good, and yourself, sir?
Fantastic. Chantel, thank you very much. Your questions, and I'll read it for the listeners. How can we unlazy our economy? Okay. As a political analyst, how can we educate our underprivileged on land and owning land? What is the goal for the future entrepreneurs on this platform? Okay, I'll answer that one, but I'll give him the first two.
Okay, let's see. How can we unlazy our economy? I don't know exactly what you mean by that, but what I think you mean by that, and if I'm correct, I think you are. You've got a very important point there. The unlazy part of the economy has to do with skills in South Africa's economy. I think that is what you're pointing at here. People think that somehow somebody else owes you something. Many people think that. Nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you anything. If you want something, you must go out there and earn it. And one way of earning that is to make sure that you have the necessary skills. And that's something I feel very, very passionate about in South Africa. We must start where it really matters when it comes to skills development, and that's with primary schools. Our primary schools is by far the most important. It's far more important than university. We must put far more emphasis on proper skills development in South Africa, and we must create the best skills development system in the world. I call it skills development and not education.
Okay.
Because what we do in South Africa, you've got a piece of paper, you call it matric, and you think because you've got a piece of paper, a matric, somebody must give you a job. That matric is not worth much. That is the reality. It is only worth something if it is accompanied by a certain set of skills. So skills development and respect for skills, that is one way of unlazying South Africa's
It's
economy.
an interesting comment, and I think I like it, but I just want to add on and say the reason I started this entrepreneurship program is because I would like to see in the future, in more particularly in secondary schools, a subject on entrepreneurship. I think part of this particular initiative is to educate our youth embryotically around the issues of how to allow them to think beyond the 30 people in a class. Because when you go into a class, whatever the teacher is teaching, he's teaching to 30 people or 60 or 80 or whatever it is, and the output of the exam is exactly the same. I give you a test, you write it. You're not allowed to think outside of that domain. I don't like that. What I'd like to see in high schools now, because entrepreneurs, for me, become the focus of the redeployment of the economy, is for them to be able to be allowed to think outside of the norm, outside of what he's talking about, just the matric, so that you can write a final exam having entrepreneurship as one of the exams that you need to write on. And that exam would be, to a large extent, subjective to what your thought process is, but allowing you to open your mind up so that you can find your skill and you can find your destiny as a business person or entrepreneur. So that is my goal. I hope I'm answering your question, and I'm hoping that some entrepreneurs will go out there and find it necessary for us to find a way to convince government, to convince the academics, to convince schools that this, or the Minister of Education, that this is a viable proposition to start teaching students from a young age, at high school even, about entrepreneurship.
Yeah. And Chantal, I can tell you something about this man. Yeah, we spoke a little bit before the time, and he told me a little bit about his businesses and so on. And he knows his businesses. He knows what's going on there. He studied whatever he's doing. And he understands that, and that makes him a successful entrepreneur. You must have the skills and the knowledge, and it never stops. It never stops in your life. You must always make sure you know exactly what's the newest thing in whatever you do. And we all have talents. Just sharpen that talent of yours.
You know, guys, the only person that knows everything is your wife. Don't ever argue with her because it just creates like a long discussion of going nowhere. But the bottom line for me is to share with you the fact that he is right. There is an opportunity for us to learn from one another every day. I have no skills in pyrometallurgy. I started off a smelter about 7 years ago. It works today in Zimbabwe. It's a very expensive one. It costs a lot of money. It was a crazy idea of building a smelter that doesn't use electricity, but we did it. And we opened it up about a month or two ago, and I was telling him about it. But while I was telling him about it, I was still very, very excited, let alone the 2 or 3 billion I lost getting there. But overall, I looked at the long-term future of it, because once you fail, you need to start putting the timelines out so that you can recover money over the medium and long term. But I did achieve this goal, and it does work, and I'm so happy. But I do want to go out there and tell people that it is important, even as if you're a parent out there, start instilling little ideas of entrepreneurship into the kid. Let the kid express themselves in whichever way possible. I don't know if we answered your question, Chantal.
Now you did answer my questions in many aspects, and the thing is, it's just that what I want to take back from this is it's all about, Mr. Davi, you said that you started in your living room.
Yes.
Okay. What was the economy like then?
Let me tell you what happened. The reason
long
why,
time ago.
No, it's not that long
Was
ago.
I born?
No.
of course.
Let me tell you how why I started the business. I started the business because I got fired. I was fired twice in my life, and I started it because I got fired. And sometimes, and you know what?
Was that the first time only?
I got fired twice.
Okay, I thought so.
You would have fired me if
I never worked there for
you.
someone in Russia, but anyway.
So I did that because I haven't got a choice here. And you know, one of the biggest mistakes I made in my life is not getting fired earlier.
Oh,
so that I was forced to start a business.
Don't go get fired
because
tomorrow.
Don't
no.
get fired.
Please,
Please don't do that. The point is, often you become an entrepreneur because you do not
forced to
have
do
a
it.
choice.
Yes,
And this is some philosophy of
Very true.
myself, and that is that.
I agree with you on that.
Try to do stuff that you don't think you will be able to do, and you will be amazed at what you can achieve.
Yeah.
Do stuff that you don't think you will be able to do.
very
Just
true.
try it.
I'm going to fire my wife tomorrow morning. Done. So
Don't resign. Don't get fired. Please don't follow that. But you will be amazed if you just try. I run marathons and I do Ironman and that stuff. You know what's the most difficult part of doing that?
the mind.
Registering for a marathon is the most difficult
I
part.
didn't know that. Wow.
Registering. Do that. And you will be amazed what you can achieve.
Chantal, it was great. Smell you later. God bless you. Cheers.
Thank
Bye.
you.
All right. Well, that was amazing. A nice ideology there. Nice couple of examples. I like what you're saying. I hope that we can somehow get some word off to the Department of Education. I'm sure it'll take a few years. but let's at least give it a go, you know, and get some people to run maybe just a little bit of a test case in a school for a year or two. But it's not going to happen overnight, I don't think. Do we have Saul Mansour? I beg your pardon?
Hi,
Hi, Saul. How are you? Can you come on? We can't see you, Saul.
can you see me now?
Sorry, Saul. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Saul is online, man. I can hear him. Do you hear him?
Yeah, I can hear him. I
You
can
hear
hear
him.
him.
Saul, welcome, man. Hope you're well. Where are you
Yes,
calling
a
from,
pleasure to
Saul?
meet you as well. I'm from Durban.
Oh, fantastic. How's the weather down there?
It's all right.
All right, I'm going to get your question, Saul.
This is asset management questions.
This is asset management. Embarking on a journey
excellent
of
stuff.
entrepreneurship presents its own set of challenges.
Yeah.
One that haunts me is the potential mismanagement
Yeah.
of funds. You got the right man here. When were you just starting out? What if I mismanaged it or lost it? What insights can you share about managing funding effectively and preventing potential losses? Some very good questions.
Well,
Thank you.
excellent questions. Now, let me tell you what we do at the Efficient Group. We are a financial services company, and we, amongst other things, we give advice to our clients, but we also manage people's money. So I take people's money, and I look after the money. And I can tell you, my company is worth nothing. There's only one little piece of value in our company, and that's the confidence and the trust that people got in me.
Wow.
That's all. That's all.
Wow.
And if I lose that, we don't have a company anymore. So if you take other people's money, you've got a huge responsibility, because if you do something wrong, you lose your good name and your company's gone with that as well. But there's something else that goes with that as well. If you mismanage, if you're an asset manager and you mismanage other people's money, they give you their life savings because they want to retire on this money.
Yeah.
You mismanage it and you don't give them a good return, or you lose their money, then that people will not have something to live after the day that they're going to retire.
Sure.
You've got a huge responsibility if you take somebody else's money and look after that. And it's not only as an asset manager. If you start a business and you ask somebody to give money into your business, you have a huge responsibility to look after your investors' money and make sure you give him the best possible return, because he's giving something very valuable to you. He doesn't give you money, he gives you effort. He got that money because through hard work, he built up some assets himself.
time, yeah.
And that money that he's going to give to you is part of this effort in his life that he trusts you with.
Look,
so you have to make sure
you
that
look
you
after
treat your investors
Guys,
with
he's very
respect
right.
and well.
Mr. Mansour, you know very well that in the Muslim community, and our way of belief is that when you've taken money from somebody else, you have the amana, which means you have to look after it slightly better than even if it were your own. That's exactly what he's saying. However, I just want to tell you, Mr. Mansour, that if people always ask me, what do you do with your money, and I don't know, you would need to ask my wife, because she's spending all of the money. I'm just trying to keep myself.
You're going to get into trouble. I can see your wife is looking at you. I mean, you tonight you're sleeping
But
outside.
Mr. Mansour, I hope he answered your questions, and you've given me a very great idea, Saul, in that there's an opportunity maybe for us to start what's called an entrepreneurship fund, which will be a riskier fund, I think, but possibly have a better return and managed by the right type of people. That is an idea that just come across to me now.
And if you get this money from this entrepreneur fund, for instance, and
Yes.
you run a business in a successful business, pay back the money.
Absolutely.
Pay back the money. Somebody else can get the opportunity
Absolutely.
as well.
So, Mr. Mansour, thank you very much. I think you've given me a great idea to start looking at maybe raising an entrepreneurial fund being managed by people like Davi and them. I wouldn't want to be involved in all of that, but to make sure that there's a proper recording of events, make sure that the money is given to the right people with the right terms and conditions and the right requirements, so that it does come back and that the investors have an opportunity. Davi, it's something we should talk about, but makes a lot of sense. Mansour, thank you for that idea. I hope we've answered your
Thank you very
question.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Excellent
Cheers,
questions.
thank you very much for those questions. And that was Mr. Mansour. We got two more questions here, guys, from Mr. Stephen White. We're getting him on the line. But that was interesting, a great idea. If we started an entrepreneurial fund, we kept it very small. We underwrote maybe majority of the first risk. So if we got our 60 million to be the first loss factor, I mean, maybe went out and said we want a 200 million fund, and we'll take the first 30% loss if there is one. Maybe that's something, I'm just thinking aloud, you would know better. Or maybe 50% loss cover, because it'd be slightly a bit more risky. And
What's
then-
important also is that whoever is in this business, you have to have skin in the game. Eh?
Skin in the game.
You have
buddy.
to have skin in
I'm
the
all
game.
in right now, alone there, buddy.
Yeah.
Just remember. But yes, you got to have skin in the game. So, oh wow,
Stephen.
Stephen, how you doing? A nice background there, Stephen. I like your beard. My wife says I shouldn't grow it that long because it's too grey. But welcome. How you doing?
Good evening, Davi. Thank you so much for taking the time for the call.
No, fantastic.
And I must say, I'm a big car lover. I think Sinead, you as well, as a very, very big car lover yourself.
Thank you.
And for your birthday, that Porsche Targa, that is proper.
That's
Fucking,
proper.
yeah.
Look, thank you very much. I'm going to read your question out if you don't mind, Stefan. In South Africa, is there a market for value-added services with regard to high performance in exotic vehicles? Like this is for me, like extended warranties, extended maintenance plans, tire and rim warranties, and dent and cosmetic plans. Yes, there is. Davies,
Yeah, can I
sit
may I
back.
ask you a question?
Yeah.
No, I just want
Okay,
to ask
go
him a
ahead.
question. So tell me, what is the most beautiful car ever built?
Most beautiful
fully
car
built.
ever built. That is very, very unfair to ask, Davy. That's my honest opinion. There's some beautiful Ferraris out there. I'm a big Ferrari F40 fan. The Enzos as well, Lamborghinis. I must be honest, the car that I enjoy driving the most ever in my life is a Bentley Continental, believe it or
Wow.
not. It's a phenomenal car.
I like this
Um,
guy.
so
I
yeah,
just want to tell you, I drove Bentley. It's the only car I drove for 100,000 kilometers.
No. The most beautiful car ever
Continental.
is the Jag E-Type.
Really?
Of course,
But,
the Jag
but
E-Type.
you know about Jags, what they say, huh? You can see only two things from outer space: the Great Wall of China and the oil leak of a Jag.
No, but come on,
So,
we're
I
not
mean-
talking about. We're talking about beauty. I mean, beauty. So anyway, the reason why I ask you this, Stephen, there's a very good reason why I ask you this question, and you've got an answer, and that's what's important, because you're passionate about cars,
yes, definitely.
and I can see that. And if you're passionate about cars, then make business with cars.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank God you didn't say passionate about women, but I take your point, and that's
it.
fantastic. And I think there is a very good market for you around that. I think there is a couple of policies like motor-wise, but they don't cover this specific type of things you're talking about. Like,
Yes.
for example, extended warranties for exotics, extended maintenance plans. I think that could work. Tires and rim warranty, there is something. Dents and cosmetic plans. I think if you found a way of consolidating all of these into one where you don't have to buy a tire warranty, you don't have to buy extended. If you had a one-stop shop and
good
you
point.
could just tick boxes, the dealers may actually buy them because warranties are not well kept in South Africa. Parts are always difficult to come by. Dealers don't want to honor their obligations sometimes simply because it's an expensive car. You drive out, you got a problem. So I would say if you could include something like the following in the older cars, and I have a lot of older cars, like clutches, very important, the very expensive smell sometimes I get in a car, and then I know, Jesus Christ, this is going to be very expensive. Like the GT500 I was driving, I was doing some donuts. It was not on a traffic area. It was off traffic area, by the way. It was in a place of safety where there were safety officers. I have to say this, by the way. And while I was doing all of that, I had that smell.
Clutch.
That clutch
Burning
smell.
clutch.
It's that very bad smell. But nobody likes that smell. But those type of things could work very well on old vehicles. I'm with you. In
Yes.
other words, vehicles prior to 1990, for example, you can say like a 30-year-old car. You can buy all of these things from you. There'll be a lot of guys that will buy a limited mileage guarantee for these things. I think send it to me. I'd like to see something like that.
Good idea.
I will put some money into something like that. I'll start off by putting my cars and then getting you to fix it because there are people fixing my cars all the time. And you know, with these old cars, what happens, the moment it works, you're happy. Tomorrow you go, it just doesn't start. They're temperamental. It's like an ex-wife, you know what I'm saying? Happy one day, unhappy 10 days.
Don't bring your wife in here again. Don't bring your
I
wife in
said
here again.
ex-wife. I said ex-wife.
A couple of years ago, I drove, like, I've got a thing with old cars. As soon as I get an old car, it always breaks. It's not something else. It would just go stand next to the road. And it's, why if it's only me? It would work perfectly all the time.
Yeah.
No issues. And then you can
buy
take
it,
it.
it breaks.
Exactly. But
Listen, this is a fantastic idea, Stefan. It was great chatting to you. Please send me some details. I like the idea on older cars. In other words, almost vintage, 30-year-old cars plus that you start giving these. We inspect them, we look at them, then we have the ability to have other outsourced people to repair them. So we know the costs. And we can reinsure this, by the way. We can take a policy out and reinsure it because if you have 100 cars or 1,000 cars, all those cars can't break at the same time all the time, which means that there will be a reinsurance element to it, which we can look at doing. I like your idea. I hope to see you soon, and look after the beard. Cheers, Stefan.
thank
Right,
you.
that was Stefan. A fantastic idea, entrepreneurs around looking after motor vehicles that are slightly older and that people don't buy them because they can't insure some of the aspects. Great idea, fantastic. Send us the stuff, we'll look at it. We're going on to Khotso
Khotso.
Boshomane.
Boshomane.
Khotso, are you there? Hello?
I love this question.
What is it? Do you
I
think
love
the
this
government is likely to increase VAT next year as they do? What impact will this have on interest rate? Very, very cool. I always said increase the VAT because it allows everybody to pay the dues, not just the wealthy people. But
Khotso, are you there? Can I ask the question? Can we read it again? Or what?
yeah, go ahead. Read this.
Okay, this is a question from Khotso Boshomane. Do you think that government is likely to increase VAT next year? And if they do, what impact will this have on the interest rates? This is the brilliant question. Okay, now let me just give you a little bit of a background here. This is the stuff that I do all the time. Okay, this is the
look a bit
boring
excited,
economics.
yeah.
Yeah, you can see I'm starting jumping
getting to
around.
move,
you know. So the thing is that fiscal finances, the state's finances, is in very, very deep trouble. I can tell you people, we are heading for a financial crisis in South Africa if we don't fix this. The state owes too much money. They're borrowing in too much money, and we're going to get into trouble because of this. So they need more money. Where's the money going to come from? The best answer, of course, is for the state to spend less and for the economy to grow. With a growing economy, we can actually afford all these sort of things. But the economy is not growing, and they're borrowing in too much money, and the kind of money that they spend is not very effectively spent. But anyway, so this is where we are. We need more money. Will they increase VAT? The short answer is unlikely. Very unlikely to increase VAT. And the reason
Why
is
is that?
because VAT is a regressive tax. It means a VAT is a more broad-based tax, and VAT is heavier on poorer people than on wealthy people. Wealthy people save some of their money, so on which they don't pay VAT. Poor people spend just about all their money,
On VAT.
and they spend and pay VAT on just about all the money
Yeah,
that
but
they spend.
I'm
wait,
disagreeing
don't-
with you now because a poorer guy is going to pay a 25 or 30% tax rate on his income.
No, I'm talking VAT only now.
Yeah, but listen to this. If
Yeah.
you add VAT onto that, then he's only paying the 40% the rich guy is paying.
No. I'm talking about VAT only as a single. There are many other taxes. The
Yeah,
most
yeah.
important tax is personal income taxes to the Minister of Finance, followed by VAT, by the way, followed by corporate income taxes, and a whole list of other
STC.
taxes. So politically, it's going to be very difficult for politicians to increase VAT.
Okay.
I do agree that we should, if we want to increase taxes, we should increase taxes, and we should reduce company taxes. Let me repeat that. We must
Stimulate.
reduce company taxes because companies are the entrepreneurs, they're the wealth
Yeah.
creators, and companies do not pay tax, just by the way. They shift their tax burden down to you and me. And it's only individuals that pay all taxes in the end. So they are unlikely to increase VAT because it's politically difficult to do, although it will be better to increase VAT and reduce company taxes as an example. The second part of the question is, what impact will this have on interest rates? And that's an interesting one because if you increase VAT, which is not going to happen, but if you do that, it means that you will take demand out of the economy, people will spend less. If they spend less money in the economy, there's less demand. You know, supply and demand stuff. Less demand means prices go down or don't go up that quickly. So that is likely to have a downward pressure on inflation, which means that the Reserve Bank then will not increase interest rates that much anymore. So an increase in VAT could actually lead to a fall in interest rates. Excellent question.
Oh, fantastic. I hope you guys understood that. I hope you understood that. Khotso.
Khotso, are you there? I can hear you. I just heard you.
Yeah, yes, I am sorry, I'm not sure why my camera is not working, but I appreciate the
That's
answer. And
Thank you very much. Excellent
Khotso,
question.
it'll make one out of two of us that understood that carefully. I'm going to get him to draw me a few pictures just now and then sort of like digest it. But thank you very much for the great question. It comes to the end of our questions and our end of time with Davi Ruud. It was fantastic, Davi. I must say I thoroughly enjoyed your visit. And thank you very much for giving the readers, the listeners, a little bit of an insight as to in the economy from the perspective of a layman like myself, so that it's easy for us to sort of understand what's going on in South Africa and how we can try and fix it. Thanks,
Thank you
buddy.
very much.
Cheers.
Thanks
it
a
was
lot for
lovely
asking
having
me.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Fantastic. Cheers. Okay, and that was Davi Ruud. Am I moving correctly? Yes, I'm moving correctly. I got an open chair here. So, guys, thank you very much. We had some great questions, some great interaction. I just want to read out quickly to you guys the 25 winners for tonight who was loyally on board. Guys, we've had so many thousands of people. Thank you once again. It was just amazing to be part of this thing again. I hope you got some value out of this thing. I wish we had more time. Every single time I have these things, I want to spend more and more time with you and entertain more questions. I love those the most. But I want to quickly get on and give you these 25 names. It's all, here we go. I'm going to read them out quickly to you, okay? It's Olwethu Zamlashi, Suhail Ghani, Vashti Kumarsamy, Reshe Janssen van Rensburg, Francois Truta. Number 6 is Ashley Padiachi. Number 7 is Chepo Tsotsotso. I got that one. That was cool of me. Zahida Patel, Ismail Nanabai, Musumbulo Kubai. Congratulations, by the way, Kaiser Hadi, Corey Kruger, Mark Naidu, Akhama Tinise, Devon Nchai. And then Zolani Ndwenda, Sandiswe Nyangane, Sandra Ndlovu, Malifomo Ramachakela, Bule Gumede, I did that Ramachakela well as well. Lucky Mashiana, or Mashiana, yes, Ziad Ibrahim, Primrose Mapundiwa, Sabiha Hassan, Colleen Mokhani. Jeez, I'm getting good at this. Guys, congratulations to each and every one of you. $2,000 each. Collect your monies. It will be sent to you, to your accounts. I wish you well. I'm getting a message. Send info to Shannon at prworks.co. Sorry, send info to Shannon, capital H, at prworks.co.za for claiming your prize. Let me repeat that. That's Shannon, SHANNON, with a capital H at the end, at prworks with an X.co.za. But we'll send something out tomorrow as to where you can get that by 12 tomorrow, or you will forfeit your money. So get going on that. Guys, thank you very much. I see Davi. Are you staying for a coffee, Davi? Okay, cool. Let me just finish up here. So, live questions, we finished. Zonate 25 brings me to the end of this thing. I want to tell you guys do know that we have that guest next month. It's a more fun one. Davi was a bit hectic for me, but he gave us great insight. It was great. Entrepreneurs, the message to you out there is stick on what you got going. Keep going along the way. Make sure that when it gets difficult and tough, speak to your family. It was a great thing from Davi to talk about. Family is everything. Make sure that you involve your father, your mother. Sometimes they may not be accountants. They may not be, maybe not be doctors, may not be attorneys. But what they are is the backbone of every family. And what they are is your support structure. Respect them and take their advices very seriously because they're important to us, our family, particularly mothers and fathers. Guys, just on that note, I want to tell you that next month I will be giving away 250,000 rands worth of vouchers for Christmas. It will be the number 7 opportunity for us to have this time together, and we will be giving away 250 grand worth of free vouchers, which is about 125 people at 2,000 rand each, and it will happen during the webinar next month. You'll keep your eyes open for the dates and times, and more opportunities for you to send me ideas. I like the idea of the cars. I'm sure there are more beautiful ideas that you can send me, so we hope to get this going. And to Shannon, once again, I hope you use the money effectively. I'm sure you will. And I hope your project is going to be a success. And I'm signing out. I hope all of you guys have a great evening. And thank you very much for all your support. Love you lots. Cheers.
We are the future millionaires with multi-moves. We are the game changers. We never lose. Entrepreneurship, motivation, profit makers. We're game changers. Multi-moves. I couldn't be the business. Multi-moves. Become a business maverick. Multi-moves. You can invest in the business. Multi-moves. Did you know do the business? Multi-millionaires know the business. We are the future millionaires with multi-moves. We are the game changers. We never lose. Entrepreneurship, motivation,